Welcome to Salon. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating report from Enlightent data. They've crunched all the numbers on Chinese variety shows for the first quarter of 2026. And let me tell you, it reveals a huge battle for viewership and a major shift in who's winning our attention.
And this gets right to the heart of a massive question in entertainment. In this incredibly competitive world of Chinese variety shows, can the established giants, the ones we've watched for years, actually hold their ground against this new wave of fresh, exciting challengers? Well, let's get into the data and find out.
Okay, first things first. Let's define our terms so we're all on the same page. On one side, you have the old guard, what's known as Zhongdai. These are your long-running franchises, the ones with multiple seasons and massive, loyal fan bases. And on the other side, we've got the new challengers, or Shenzong. These are the brand new first-season shows trying to make a name for themselves.
So, what's the report card for the first quarter of 2026 actually look like? Well, the data shows a market that is absolutely in flux. There are some really surprising shifts in the power dynamics between these old and new players.
Now, at a quick glance, you might think things are kind of slowing down. Total viewership for the top 20 shows was just under 2 billion, yeah? But that's actually down 12% from last year. But don't let that fool you, because underneath that number, the competition for every single one of those views is hotter than ever.
So, with everything changing, who's actually on top? Well, let's start with the champions. Because despite all the shifts, the established franchises, that old guard, are still an absolutely dominant force.
And the scale of that dominance is just crystal clear. Look at this chart. These returning shows are capturing a staggering 75% of the entire viewership pie among the top programs. That leaves only a quarter of the attention for all the new shows combined.
This table just illustrates their power perfectly. You see these familiar names right. Who's the Murderer at number 2? Keep Running at number 3. They continue to just fill out the top ranks, each pulling in well over 150 million views. Their appeal is undeniable. But, you might notice, rank number 1 is missing. We're going to get to that.
Because this, right here, is where the story gets really exciting. The new challengers, the Shenzong, they are not just knocking on the door anymore. No, they are breaking it down and staging a serious breakthrough. Just look at this incredible growth. A year ago, new programs were only grabbing a tiny 10% slice of the viewership in the top 20. This year, that number has shot up to 25%. They are taking a much bigger piece of that pie.
Let me put that another way. We are talking about a 2.5 times increase in market share in just one single year. This isn't some small trend. This is fundamentally changing the entire competitive landscape. And remember that missing number 1 spot? Well, it belongs to this show right here, the breakout S+ rated hit Wander Together. It wasn't just the top new show, it was the number 1 show overall, pulling in an incredible 340 million views and beating nearly all of those established heavyweights.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The Enlightent report puts it perfectly. They say the new shows have, and I quote, successfully broken the monopoly of the returning franchises on the top of the market. The game has officially changed.
So the big question is, why? What's driving this massive shift? Well, the data points to a really clear change in what audiences want and, more importantly, how innovative producers are giving it to them.
So if we look at genres, sure, travel and game show hybrids are still the undisputed kings, commanding 40% of all viewership. But the real story, the real innovation is happening everywhere else. As you can see, mystery and music are also pulling in some serious audiences, each grabbing over 10% of the market.
And this is where it gets so fascinating. Producers are getting smarter. They're trying out these creative new formats, right? They're targeting audiences nobody was thinking about before. Like with dating shows for the 50+ crowd. They're blending genres, mixing singers with comedians. And they're adapting to how we watch things today. A massive 44% of new shows have episodes under 30 minutes long. That is perfect for a modern audience.
Okay, let's wrap all this up. What are the 3 most important things to take away from this report? And what does it all mean for the future of entertainment?
So it really boils down to 3 key findings. First, the old guard is still on top, but the reign is way more vulnerable than it has ever been before. Second, the challengers are surging, and they're doing it by taking creative risks with new formats that we all clearly love. And third, if you want to know where the next big hit is coming from, keep your eyes on the key creative battlegrounds of comedy, music, and romance. That's where the action is. This is a market that is constantly moving, and it is going to be absolutely thrilling to watch what happens next. From all of us here at Flow Salon, we wish you a prosperous year of the horse. 陶醉小龙，马年兴隆。